Hi, ladies and gentlemen, MarshaunO out here, your favorite life and relationship strategist, and I'm here to talk to you today about compromise versus sacrifice. Now, this conversation actually came from, I've been talking to a lot of people lately, clients and just friends, and just having conversations and just trying to see the thoughts about compromise versus sacrifice. And what I've come to find by just talking to the few people that I have talked to, that most people think that they are compromising when in fact they are sacrificing in their relationships. And so I want to come to you and talk to you guys about what compromise is and then what sacrifice is. And I'm just going to give you a few things that makes each of them different. Now, I don't want you to always look at sacrifice as a bad thing, because there are times in a relationship that you're going to need to sacrifice things for the betterment of the relationship, to just be able to move forward in the relationship. And you also have to choose to pick your battle. So there are going to be some sacrifices that you have to make, which are healthy sacrifices. But sometimes people think that they are making a compromise when in fact it's actually a sacrifice. So I want to give you a few examples of what each of them are, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is compromise is something that is mutual. It's something that is agreed upon in the relationship where both of you are winning in a way. A sacrifice is disproportionate, where usually one person is the winner. So that's one difference. Another difference is compromise is where two people are trying to figure something out, where sacrifice is often one-sided. Another one. Compromise is where you both win. And again, you're not both winning simultaneously, not necessarily. The win could be, you know what? An example, I was having a conversation with one of my clients, and she was saying that she likes, her and her boyfriend likes movies, but he likes to go to the theater, and she's a person who likes to stay at home. And that's fine, but basically what it comes down to is that she felt like she was always the one who was going to the movies instead of relaxing in her PJs or whatever, and then still being able to cuddle up with her man. She felt that, okay, I am just going to do this, and it became an obligation, and it wasn't where both of them were winning. And so I gave her the example, which is what I'm going to give to you today, which is instead of just saying 100%, okay, I'm going to go to the theater, and then sucking and hating every moment of it because you would rather be home, you can actually win, both of you, where you say, you know what, babe? I was thinking, you know that I like to watch movies, but I really like to be in the house. But you like to watch movies and you really like to be in the theater. So how about both of us win? How about we decide, instead of going to the theater every single week, that one week we go to the theater, then the next week we stay home and watch movie, and then the following week we go to the movie theater, and then the fourth week of the month we actually stay home and watch the movie in the comfort of our home. So compromising and you're both winning does not mean it's going to be the same exact time. It might come at a later time, like it did in the following example. So going to the movies one week and then staying at home and watching the movie, and then the following week go to the theater, and then the week after that to stay home. But you're still spending time with your spouse, and you're both still feeling like you're winning, but you're also not feeling like you're always losing or always giving up something for the sake of the relationship. A sacrifice is where only one partner wins. Only one partner wins. Which is what she was actually doing. Going back to the example, she was always saying, yeah, I'll go to the theater, but then she was resenting and hating every moment of it. She thought that she was compromising by just going. She never thought that she can actually say, let me negotiate this thing with you. Let me have a counter argument with you about this topic that you know I'm just don't want to leave, right? So you're able to negotiate these things. Another thing that compromise is that you compromise, each of you compromise, and you give up just a little something. A sacrifice is when one partner gives up everything. So for the compromise, for that example, it's where, again, in the moment where she is compromising the theater, one week, and then he's actually compromising because he wants to go to the theater, but now it's her turn to win, so then he stays home with her. But it also could be where you are a person that likes to go out dancing, and then the other person is a chill person or more of an introvert person. So you both could win that day. You can say, you know what, this is what we're going to do today. This is our date. You could win by us going dancing for a little while, but then I'm going to win where when we're driving home, we get to go to a solitude area where we're both just conversing, whether we're sitting in the car, whether we're standing outside of the car, or sitting on a park bench and just conversing, just having the conversation, having that one-on-one time. So I'm not feeling drained, but I'm also not feeling like I'm just giving up everything for the sake of you just being happy and I'm no longer being happy. So it could be in the moment as well, but again, it's usually not simultaneously, because even with the last example, you had to go dancing first in order to get what you want. So just think about it. It can work. It's a negotiation. It's something that you guys need to talk about and even agree upon, both of you, not just one person just winning. Another thing to think about is that compromise is usually focused on solving a problem. Compromise is usually focused on solving a problem, where sacrifice does not. A problem can be talked about specifically for a sacrifice, but it usually does not have a destination. It's usually the other one person, the one party wants to be right, and that is basically it. Like, it's my way or the highway. And no relationship wants to be like that. It should not be like that. And no partner, no spouse wants to be in a relationship like that. Now, I talked about earlier healthy sacrifices. And so I'm going to give you a few 5 things that can be considered healthy sacrifices for the sake of the relationship. Like, number 1, sharing the bed. All of us know, and maybe you don't know, so let me just tell you, this is actually a research where the people who actually sleep in beds by themselves, whether you're single or if you're in a relationship but you guys sleep in separate rooms or even just separate beds, both of you sleep better. The people that share the bed, even me and my husband included, one of us, which is me because I'm the light sleeper, one of us don't sleep as well as the other person. I'm a light sleeper. I hear everything. Anytime you turn, anytime you rustle something, anytime you come into the room, open up the door, I hear everything. I'm a very light sleeper. And so because of that, my sleep gets interrupted a lot. Where him, he's a rock when he sleeps. He can't hear nothing when he sleeps. So if I come in a room and I'm making noise or I'm rustling or trying to do something, he never hears it. I never interrupt his sleep unless he's about to wake up, when maybe like the last hour and he's basically fully rested. Of course, he didn't want me to wake him up, but the point is he gets a lot more sleep than I do. So sharing your bed, hearing the person snore, sharing your covers that could be pulled off of you during the middle of the night, and now you waking up shivering, like, that's a healthy sacrifice. Another thing is dealing with someone's mess. That's a healthy sacrifice for the relationship, because both of you are not the same. You might have grown up completely different. Maybe somebody is more clean than the other person. And then when I say mess, I'm not talking about filthy mess. I'm not talking about like hoarders type of mess. I'm just talking about this person is coming into the house, and instead of them going to the bedroom to take off their clothes, maybe they're just walking throughout the house and taking off their clothes, and they're not even picking up the clothes. That's the mess that I'm talking about. Or in my own home, love them, but anytime I decide that I'm going to clean the kitchen, and when I say, let me come closer, because I need for you to understand that when I say anytime, I'm talking about anytime, and it does not matter the time of day. Anytime I decide that I'm going to the kitchen to clean up the kitchen, I clean it up. Because I'm hand washing, so y'all know I hate that. I'm hand washing dishes. I wash all the dishes. I hand dry them. I put everything away, and then guess what? Knucklehead husband, love him. Knucklehead husband decides that he wants to go into the kitchen and eat. Now you hungry, right? As soon as I clean the kitchen. And when I say it's every time, y'all, I'll be ready to punch him in his head. And now it's kind of a standing joke, because after I pointed it out to him several times, now he's conscious about it, but he still hasn't stopped. He still has not eaten right before I go and clean the kitchen. He'll wait until the kitchen is, I'm talking about brand spanking new clean, and then he decides that he wants to go in there and fix him something to eat. And then he don't even wash his dish. He just leave it in the sink, which is more irritating than anything. But again, it's a healthy sacrifice. because it's not that big of a deal. I would rather him take care of that dish, especially since I just finished cleaning up. But I'm not going to kill myself to go back in there to wash that 1 or 2 dishes because he didn't. It's going to get washed the next time I wash them. Another thing, I already mentioned your sleep with sharing the bed, but I want to reiterate that because your sleep can be lost. But not only that, it could be lost, especially if you guys have a small child. And a small child is 5 or 6 and below, because up until they start going to school, they don't really have a sense of time. And so your child could wake up in the middle of the night up until around that time, and you're losing sleep. And this could be both parents, it could just be one parent, but again, that's a healthy sacrifice. And I know that one's specifically to your spouse, but it is specific to your household, to the relationship that you're having, and you do have a relationship with your children as well. The last thing is receiving all the credit. You don't need to receive all the credit. That's a healthy sacrifice. If somebody comes to you and you know that you were the one who actually solved that problem, that you are the one who solved that issue, you're the one who made that thing happen in your relationship, but they're going to your spouse and saying, thank you very much, I'm glad that you did X, Y, and Z. You, as the person who actually did everything, does not have to come in and be like, well, why are you giving the credit to her? Why are you giving the credit to him? I actually made that happen. No. Because if y'all working as a team, then y'all both did the work. Yes, I get it. Physically, the one person did it. I get that. But y'all are a team. And so you do not have to feel like you have to take all the credit all the time. Whether you did it or not, doesn't matter. I hope that this makes more sense to you and you can recognize whether you are the person that's compromising more, that you are the person that's sacrificing more versus compromise. And now you can start to correct the way that you're actually showing up and negotiating. You do not have to feel like you're losing in order to say that I'm compromising, because that's actually a sacrifice. That is not a compromise. A compromise is where you both win. And again, it doesn't have to be winning simultaneously in that moment. It could be winning today and then the other person is quote unquote losing, even though it's a win-win situation. Whether, doesn't matter the time. The point is that you both come to the agreement to acknowledge what the other person needs and then be able to say, you know what, this is what's going to happen, and deliver on your promise. So did you or do you find yourself being more of a person that sacrifices versus compromising? Let me know down in the comment section below. I love you guys, and there is nothing that you can do about it. I will see you guys very, very, very soon. Bye now.